Oh shit, we got a leak. We got a leak.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna be water cooling the PC. And yeah, you're probably wondering, why are we doing that when we have this big beefy boy in here already? And that's because I hate the noise of the fans on this freaking CPU. I'm just gonna go full tilt on the CPU. Fan is going at 1000 RPM right now. This is silent from the desk, and there's a lot of background noise, but what we're hearing is pretty much the top fans. But what I hate, and the reason why we're updating this thing, which I'm hoping 240mm rad will be enough. We're gonna go full speed, and you can see. We're at 1600 RPMs right now, and you can kind of hear it up from, this is from where basically where I'm sitting. The problem is that when this thing ramps up on and off, it kills me. I hate it. I hate how loud it is when it ramps up. So one good thing about water cooling is that you don't have to worry about the ramp ups too much in water cooling. You can set it to like a pretty aggressive fan curve. This is a 240 milliliter or 240 millimeter rad. This is a thin boy, so we'll see if it's good enough. If not, I do have a 360 in this PC that I was gonna pull out anyways. But for this, let's just test to see if this works. We have this also, this EK pump and reservoir. I got this thing a long time ago. I don't even know if this thing works, to be honest. I honestly don't have any idea. But we'll see. I should probably test it out before we do the build. And for water block, I got this from AliExpress. We have this big ski water block. And where are my hardline tubes? Where are my tubes? They're here somewhere. Oh, they're right here. So we got our hardline water tube right here, and then we got all our fittings all in here. So we got everything we need to get this done right. Gang of fittings all together. The new fittings. We got this water temperature thing that we're gonna try to set up somewhere. We got all these fittings and stuff like that from AliExpress. Some of them are the old ones. You can see this one got gunked up from some product I was using to fix a leak when I didn't know what I was doing, but now I kind of do. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this. This is I think this is acrylic or PETG. I forgot what I got, but it should be pretty straightforward. It shouldn't be too crazy. You're wondering why I'm just not getting an AIO and I'm spending all this money. Altogether, I spent about $80 in these new parts. This stuff I've bought a long time. I bought this for a different PC. This was $20. This I think I bought for like 30 bucks on Mercari. And like I said, I don't even know if it works. But yeah, I'm doing it because I hate AIOs. You're probably a fan of the channel. You probably heard me say it at least 2 or 3 times. I fucking hate AIOs with their whole droopy cables. Nothing against people that use them. Nothing against them. I just think personally that droopy hose is ugly. And honestly, the coolest thing you can do, the real customizable thing anybody can do to a PC, the real customizable is a custom water loop. Why is there gunk on this? So custom water loops are, if you say you have a custom PC, you don't have a custom PC. You have a bunch of parts that you bought that you put together. That's not, to me, that's not custom. Custom is one of a kind PC. That's custom to me. One of a kind, meaning there's something in that PC that will only be seen in that PC, and if you want to call a PC custom, it has to have a custom water loop on it, or something that is bespoke, meaning it's one of a kind or built for your PC. So yeah, we're gonna do that for this PC because right now, other than this front grille, it's the only bespoke thing we have in this thing. And plus, that screen's off right now. I don't know why that's off. Good shot. All right, we're gonna plug her in. Oh, it's pumping water. Sounds good. You can see it. So, all right, this is pretty much everything we need. We should have enough fittings to get everything done for this build. We should have plenty of tube, and we'll kind of get the PC tear down and see where things need to be. Straightforward, nowhere near as hard as the other one because we're not doing the graphics card. So we'll get everything on the table, and then we'll get started. Removed, pretty simple, 2 screws, and then I'm pretty sure we don't need to take off these mount. Well, we gotta take these brackets and take the washer out, but I don't think we'll have to pull the motherboard out. Hopefully, we'll see. By the way, great cooler. No shade against this cooler. Whatever friggin' brand it was. It was normally a $150 cooler. I got it for 70 bucks, and I think it's a great cooler, but I just don't. I'm just particular on fans ramping up. Fixed key water block. I've used these. They're they're fittings before. I've never used their cooler, but you know this should be more than enough, more than adequate for what we need. Block wise, we're not overclocking. We just want this thing to run as quiet as we can. Pretty self-forward kit. It came with this rear bracket, which we're not going to use because pretty sure the stock one will work fine. But we'll see if there's any play in this when we install it to make sure that that doesn't become a problem. It comes with the fittings. Pretty straightforward to hook this up, and then after we get that in place, then we're going to go ahead and start figuring out where we're going to put all the water cooling. Arctic MX6 for this. I know that's a lot, but whatever, yellow. PC case is that you don't have to reach up and in. You can just go in through the side and do some tightening. It's a very underlooked feature about this PC. I'm sure there are other PCs where you could do this, but from my experience, this is way chiller. Funnest part about doing this is now we're trying to. This thing is, you know, it's pretty. It's a little cattywampus. A little bit. Good enough. This is the funnest and hardest part about this whole thing is where are we going to run all our hardline tubing. We have to worry about this thing. It's going to be... It's the hardest part about this. And it looks like, luckily for us, we'll be able to mount this thing at least with 1 screw on this cage. I kind of don't like it. We're going to play around with this for a little bit, but you can kind of see this why this was the most difficult and probably the funnest part about this all. Just getting this whole situation all figured out. Are all set up. I didn't really bore you guys with that. If you guys want a tutorial video on how to do this, I could do that. But I have everything set up, and I'll just take you through what my plan was, why I did it this way. I have a sheet here right now just in case we leak, because we are primed and ready to give our test fire. I don't have a pressure tank, pressure thing to see if this is airtight. I just send it. I just do a full send. If there's a leak, there's a leak. We'll shut it off. But I've checked everything twice, 3 times, 4 times. Everything's nice and snug, and hopefully we don't have any leaks. But if we do, we'll have some more paper towels, more cloths down before we get started. So real quick, there was a couple key issues here. Mainly, I was trying to keep everything very streamlined, so I wanted as minimal elbows as possible. Unfortunately, I had to use one of these silver ones. I didn't want to, but it was actually the perfect length that I needed to be able to mount this radiator like that. So it's a perfect 90, almost perfect 90 straight into the radiator. The radiator is 240 mil. You'll notice there's only screws on one side, so this thing is kind of floating, which is not the end of the world. It's fine. We have 4 screws, well, 3. We're going to have a 4th one. And then I might make a bracket here, probably not, probably don't need to. So it's kind of just like floating there. We don't have the right fans on here, so we are gonna have to drain this because I ordered the wrong size fans. These are the Arctic P14 Pros. I was supposed to get the Arctic 12 Pros, but I had these spare ones hanging out here so that if, you know, I could test it later with the fans on if we don't have any leaks. So this was the main first part. Once we got that down, then we just dialed everything around that. And the one of the more important ones was this straight shot down here. So this reservoir sat where it is because I wanted this to be a straight shot from here to here. Straight shot. Keep it simple. The less twisty turny bends, the simpler things are. Real quick, this took me about 3 hours to get it kind of where I wanted because we had to do a couple of, you'll see some things, some new things, and I'll get into that in a second. We use quite a bit of fittings here. We got two 90s together there, 90 down there, and that's going back into our radiator over here. And the radiator position is the reason why this reservoir is kicked out. So you'll notice that the reservoir is outside of the case. The glass will still cover this thing. We had to do this custom bracket here for this reservoir to sit on, and we might have to, we're definitely gonna have to redo it. I just kind of wanted to get this thing in place to see, you know, to test all the lines before that, but everything works well with it. It will close no problem with the glass on. But yeah, we did have to build this custom bracket here, and that was all because, remember, we needed to get this little return in a nice straightish line straight to there. It's a little cattywampus. It's not the straightest thing, but no one can see it. It's in the back. It's a little twisted. We could have probably, now that I'm looking, I might fix that. I could definitely move this thing further back, but that's not big of a deal. That would just mean we'd have to shave this one down and then shift it back. So we'd probably have to shave it like a quarter inch. So this top one would be shaved down quarter inch, and we shift it back to adjust that if we wanted to, because like I said, you can't even tell from this side. You'd have to be back here to see, and you know, you're gonna be looking at it from here, so it's not a big deal. As you can tell, I don't really care that we have a silver fitting there, and some of these fittings don't match up perfectly. It's not the end of the world to me. It really doesn't bug me that much. I'm an 80% guy, kind of guy. If it's 80% there, maybe 85% there, I'm okay with it. It doesn't need to be 100%. 100% will waste you an extra 10 extra hours for another 10%, or a little bit extra more money for another 15%. I'm okay. This fitting was $2. So it's all good. So we're going to go ahead and give it a test run and make sure, hopefully, it does not leak. Definitely want to redesign this bracket where this water block is sitting on, just to make it a little cleaner. It's not bad looking, but you know, maybe we can do a little bit. We can add to it. My goal is maybe we'll add to it. We'll see. Kind of see how this works out before we do any more extra work. This is a little Molex power brick. It's 12 volts. I think it's 12 volts, 4 amps, and then I got it hooked up to the switch. We can power it on and off so that we can cycle the water just in case. And it's currently off. I'm going to plug it into our little attachment here. Molex. Damn, this thing. These Molex plugs just get so beat up. Alright, that's in as good as it's going to get. Alright, I got my water on standby. Alright, we got water going in. So far, no, there's a lot of vibration. A lot of vibration. Wow, this thing is loud. A lot of the vibration is like coming from our motherboard. Alright, I'm gonna cut the power real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten down our motherboard. A lot of the vibration is coming from these fans, actually. Oh shit, we got a leak. We got a leak. We got a leak. That's because I pushed up against it. Somehow I botched that up real bad. Okay, so, but what did we learn? This fan is too loose and it's causing some crazy vibration issues. And regardless of that, this thing vibrates like crazy. So we need to figure out a better base plate situation so this base plate's more secure. So what we're gonna have to do is build it out so that we can set it up to the point where we can really have some good support here.
Day 2.
All right, it's another day. We've been doing some work on this. We put about another 2 hours into this thing, and we've kind of ran into a hurdle. Yes, we were dealing with the vibration issues. Notice that we have the new fans in. Right now, we already did a test on our new loop, and it looks like it's not leaking, but the reservoir has an issue where it sits. So I made this new bracket to sit on top of here and go here, and basically it sits on top. Actually, it's supposed to be on this way. And I got all the screw holes to match up. Didn't take too many. I think this is like the 5th version. And basically what I have to do is, before mounting this on here, I need to, actually no, I got the screws in. I'm gonna mount this on here, and then I'm gonna see if my screw holes, I'm thinking I might have to cut this back plate for these screw holes so I can mount our reservoir onto here, which is sitting on here, and then it will sit in here like so. That's the plan. And I'm probably gonna end up changing this maybe to white or something, different color, maybe, we'll see. But we'll wait till we get there. So these screw holes right here are what holds the reservoir, and look at the holes, almost match up perfectly. This one's pretty dang good. This one's a little off, but we can get it to work. Nice.
Day 3.
All right, let's see.
No leaks. And there you have it. We freaking did it. It took way longer than expected. We had to do some pretty extensive hurdles, and mainly, as you watched the video, the vibration was an issue, but we were actually able to turn down the speeds on the pump all the way down to, I think it's at 40%, and now it's just humming. It's humming. It might be slightly louder than before. Definitely below 52 now, so we are slightly quieter. The noise is slightly, it's different. A little bit of vibration, a little bit of humming, more humming, but overall not too crazy on the ear. So it's not bad. And if we, I'm going to remove the glass in a second. What I hear the most of is the fan. So I have the fan set pretty aggressively right now for the CPU. So the fans that are on the radiator are set to a pretty aggressive stance. So actually, let's pull them up real quick. But let's go ahead and let's just take a look. So our room temperature is 25 Celsius. So it's about 78, 77, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 77. It's cooling down here. We have our AC on. This thing is on low, so very unaudible. And on our PC, our temperatures are currently 74, running Cinebench. We peaked at 74.5. We're pulling 120 watts. Looks like we are at our full boost clock, 52. We definitely have some overhead here. The original cooler right here, this bad boy, this big Mama Jamma, did fine. It did fine. It could handle Cinebench. I don't have any specs for it before, but If you remember, the whole point of this wasn't to make this thing run cooler. It was just to not hear the fans ramp up. It drives me insane to hear the fans ramp up. Our CPU is very basically, we're pegged here at 65%. And it does good. We're running Cinebench right now, and we're holding 74 degrees at 65%. We probably could get away with 60, but the difference in dB between 60 and 65% was negligible to me. So I'm just gonna run it at 65. That way it's less likely to ramp up to 100% anytime soon. We have a huge gap here. As for the pump, so our pump is at 30% or 29%. I thought it was at 30. Let's just get this up to 30. There you go. That should be 30. It's 2300 RPM, so it's moving a lot of water, a lot more than we need. And everything's running good. Everything's running good. It's actually a lot cooler than it was before. And I think it looks pretty snazzy compared to the big air block in there. And overall, it wasn't too difficult. We do have one cattywampus piping, the one in the back there. That long, slender one right here in the back here. It's a little short, so it's kicked out a little bit. It's slightly noticeable. It's not going to bug me. The main one I was worried about is this tube right here. The one right front and center is the one I wanted perfect, because that's the one that I'm going to notice the most. And I really needed that to look good for my sanity. So the biggest hurdle of this whole thing was building this custom 3D printed shelf for the water pump to sit on. We could have just easily used a bracket and it could set in the center of this fan grill right here in the middle. Not a problem. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to put too many bends in the tube. So I could have done the tube bending and all that stuff, but I just didn't want to do that, and this seemed like a pretty fun challenge. And I just wanted to keep these lines as streamlined as possible, and it seemed like that worked out really well thanks to this plate. It did take a while to make. There was a couple iterations of it. There was a bunch of test prints. These are like the kind of final form prints that I ended up having to trash. It used to be quite a bit bigger, but then I realized that was freaking stupid. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too difficult. Rating out of 10 to make this thing, 6 out of 10, I think. So these are all trash now. Don't need those. But overall, I'm pretty happy how it looks. I think I'm gonna maybe modify it in the future. I'm not sure. Right now, I really do like how it looks. Overall, I can't complain. Considering and full price breakdown. We had the pump already. We bought it previously for $30. The water block was $40. The extra fittings and the tube. So water block, extra fittings, tube, and fans was about $100. We had the radiators already from this original build right here. It worked out great, and I'm very happy the fact that it is more than enough to keep this thing cool. We've been running Cinebench for about 8-9 minutes now. And our temperature is still 72. We peaked at 76, running nice and cool, and our fans are pretty aggressive, but still quieter than they were before. So I'm pretty happy with this overall. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please hit that like, hit that sub, and you know that this is a bespoke PC. There is no other PC in the world that looks like this one. We have a custom front plate. We have a custom bracket here for our custom water-cooled loop to sit in. It's like, to me, this is what PC building is all about. It's about building something that someone else doesn't have. This is bespoke. There's only one of a kind thing. And if that's not kind of your thing to do and you just want to PC the game, that's cool. But for me, I like to build them. I like to customize them in my own way, or I like to just be able to put my stamp on it, say, yeah, I made this. I just didn't buy a bunch of parts on Amazon and I put it together. And like, not saying that's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that's not a custom PC. It's only none of those parts are custom. They're off the shelf parts that go into an off the shelf case. There's nothing custom in that to me. And then people put I get it. You can put your toys in there. I still don't get that. Why would you put your toys in there? It's not my thing. It's not one of my things. I'm more of a, and like I say, I'm not. I'm coming off as like a snob. I know it. I'm just saying, well, for me, I think this is cooler. I think if anything, people should try to do stuff like this because it's not easy, nor is it difficult. But you feel accomplished when you get everything done correctly, and it just feels good to do something that's not easy and put your own little flair, your own little taste on something that you hopefully you're going to be using quite often. And Battlefield 6 is almost out, so there you go. That's the whole point of this build, guys. Thanks for watching. My name is Nas, aka DIY Poppy. I'll catch you on the next one.